Bourbon. Belts. Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters. I am Ryan.
And I'm Tim.
I didn't do anything special this time.
You said you would.
I know.
Said you would have a new one.
I was having buyer's remorse after committing to Mac Daddy Ryan last week. It really didn't sit well with me the rest of the week. I didn't like that.
It's the return of the Mac. Mac.
I decided, I don't know what it was with the glasses on this week. I need to flip my hat around. Yeah, we're back. It's another episode.
Episode 50.
Episode 50, dude.
This is our 1 year.
This is our one. It's episode 50. It's 1 year since we started doing this thing.
When this episode posts, it's literally 1 year to the date.
Wow.
Well.
Yeah, because we were posting them on Sundays.
Yep.
Last year, when we first started.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Because we were filming on Fridays. All right. Well, heck yeah, man. Another episode. We got bourbon. We got belts. And we got some blockbusters to cover.
Hell yeah.
So let's get right on into it. This week was my cash in. You'll find that on our socials that we'll get to here in a momento. But it's a pretty good one.
I think so.
Going to be honest with you. It's pretty good. It's pretty solid cash in. So check that out. But Timmy, there's episode 50, 1 year, and I should have put that closer to me to start. I didn't think there was any other way than to do a Triple B first.
Ooh.
Brought it back out.
Hell yeah.
This is first time we're doing this. I figured it was appropriate to do so. It's 1 year. It's our 50th episode, so it's a big episode. But yeah, 1 year from the first time we did it, and the very first time we did it, I also was the one that brought the very first. I did the very first bottle.
Yeah.
And this episode was my cash in, so I just everything kind of lined up.
Yeah.
And so I went back to the Maker's Mark number 46 French Oaked. It was the very first bourbon we had. We gave it a 10 out of 10. We don't usually redo bourbons unless it's within cocktails.
Yeah.
So this is the first time we are doubling up on a bourbon for the episode. But I just thought, you know what? Let's bask in our 1 year and see if it holds up with some of the other bourbons that we have now had within the last year. You know, I mean,
I feel like it's gonna.
I feel like it will as well.
I feel like it's gonna.
Don't want to have no gum in my mouth when I'm sipping on this delightful beauty. All right. So, once again, we got the Maker's Mark, number 46, French Oaked. I am going to read the blurb because I don't know that we did that on the very first episode. So, the blurb says, a few years back, I became obsessed with creating a new version of Maker's Mark with amplified notes of vanilla, caramel, and spice while offering a longer finish without the bitterness my dad was so opposed to. After a lengthy process of trial and error, I landed on the idea of finishing fully matured Maker's Mark in the barrel for a little bit longer with specifically chosen French oak staves. And we had a winner. If I have a legacy, I guess this is it. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. It says Bill Samuels Jr. He is the son of the founders, Bill and Margie. So heck yeah.
Heck yeah, let's get into it.
Let's pour this bad boy up here.
That's right.
I'm gonna go a little more. We're going.
That's good.
It's a special episode. Fill it on up. Fill it on up.
We did not have these glasses on the first episode.
We did not have the glasses on the first episode. We also will not be recreating the first episode, A, in length, and B, in the fact that we finished the bottle of bourbon on the episode, on the very first episode. We were a wee bit hammered that night.
Oh yeah, and then we had lapel mics, and
we had the beautiful lapel mics.
There was no agenda.
No agenda. It was just flying by it was a shoot, if you will. It was a shoot. It was a shoot podcast. The pilot to the pilot.
Pilot to the pilot.
Well, dude,
happy
cheers
1 year,
to
man.
1 year, 50.
Boom.
Let's go. Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, holds up. That's a 10er.
It's a 10er.
It's so smooth.
It really is.
You really do have the vanilla and the caramel in there, but I love the smoky on the back end. Mm-hmm. That's what I like, because I love the double oaked, French oaked bourbons of all the different distilleries have. That's usually one of my favorite go-to things. But this one, the smokiness is like there, but it's also very subtle.
Yeah, it's not overpowering.
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's also like obvious, if that makes sense. So,
because like that double charred one was just like a bull.
That just warmed me up.
It just envelopes your mouth,
made me loosey goosey.
And I think it still holds up to the other ones we've given 10 out of 10.
I think it was a very fair assessment that we gave for the very first one. I don't think it was just, the intrigue of us doing the podcast for the first time and everything.
Yeah.
I think 1 year later, try it again. It's the first time I've had that bourbon since that day.
Same.
So
I was chasing it. Like I bought a couple bourbons that had that French oak. And does not add up to the makers.
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. And I think it holds up really well. I think we called that one good. Mm-hmm. I think we called it good.
I think we did.
I'm proud of us. All right.
Brings us to our socials. You can find us on Instagram, X, YouTube, TikTok. We are at Trip B Pod. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We are the Triple B Podcast, Bourbon Belts, and Blockbusters. And you can shoot us an email at triplebpod619@gmail.com. Love to get your thoughts on the show. Any questions you want us to discuss on the show. Any ideas, any bourbon ideas, any movies you want us to talk about. Let's get social. I want to get social.
God, the show's come a long way.
Brings us to the Bourbon Talk fact check.
Heck yeah, buddy. Got a few things.
Okay.
Nothing crazy, but also wasn't a clean episode. First and foremost, the very first point I have on here, very conflicting. Very conflicting. I couldn't find a thing. So we talked about this on the fact check last week, right? And it's about Orton, Cena, and then like their head-to-head record, because we talked about that on the previous episode. Then you fact checked it and found that Cena held like a 13-7 record or something like that. But then at Backlash, Michael Cole, during the intros to the match, said that they are dead even. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, wait, what? Because that is not, like, if you look it up in their singles matches, that's not it. So then we were like, well, maybe they're talking dead even in title matches that they've had. Maybe they're, even there. So that's what I was trying to do the fact check on. Yeah. I was like, well, what are they dead even in then? Is it title matches? Because I don't know what else it would be, because it's obviously not singles matches.
Yeah.
And so titles matches is the only thing that makes sense. So that's what I looked up. And oddly enough, I found that Randy is actually up 5-4 in the title matches.
Oh.
So Randy has actually won more of the title matches they have had. Really? So apparently 5 of the 7 wins that Randy has in the overall series have been title match wins. That's what I found. That's what I read. But that's still confusing.
Yeah.
Because if that's not taking into consideration Backlash, then now they would be even.
Maybe Michael Cole was spoiling the result. No, I don't think so.
Because if they were dead even going into that, Cena would be up then.
Yeah.
Because Cena retained.
No, maybe he was spoiling the result of that Backlash match. Because Randy was
dead
up
even.
1.
Gotcha. And like maybe this is updated to 5-5.
I don't think that would be really
no. It would be so. I don't know. I don't know what Michael Cole is referring to when it was dead even. maybe that's just commentator doing his job of trying to pull more intrigue in and not expecting people to fully fact check that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. Not really necessarily the best fact check, but I did what I could.
But there's some conflicting reports
There is conflicting things, yes. Another thing that's potentially conflicting, Gunther's title reigns for the percentage of his full career in the WWE. So I'm not just counting main roster, because we did that one last year as well, and you found, or not last year, we did that one last week as well, and you had found that it was about 80% or whatever.
And I went off of what Pat McAfee said on Raw.
That's true.
I didn't
That
Google
is right.
it.
So, but then off of that conversation, we were saying, like I wonder what his entire thing is, because you said he became North American champ real quick and then NXT champ real fast too, from when he debuted in 2019.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I looked. I just looked up, literally typed in Gunther championship, like percentage of full WWE career.
Yeah.
And I got that it is over 77% of the full thing.
Wow.
So that's still pretty damn impressive. 3/4 of his 6 years, going on 6 years of his WWE full career, he has had gold around his waist.
That's insane.
Over 3/4. So yeah, that's a pretty good stat.
Some wrestlers can't even get gold.
Yeah, right. Seriously. So and I'm going to be honest with you, that when I read that, it was only mentioning 3 titles.
Okay.
So I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't taking it is a North American.
So he won the NXT UK World Heavyweight Champion, and then he won.
So that's probably what it is. It's probably the NXT UK World title, the NXT World title, and the World Heavyweight. Then they're probably not even taking into consideration the IC and the North American.
But they did merge the NXT UK and NXT title, so maybe that's the one, and then Intercontinental, and then the World Heavyweight Championship.
But what I'm saying then is he has held more than 3 titles.
Yeah,
and the stat that I got was off of just the 3 titles. So maybe they're talking like the 3 main titles that he held.
Yeah.
So that's actually even higher considering the other 1 to 2 titles that he, depending on how they're calculating that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does.
Because they're counting the UK as a separate, and then the NXT as a separate, and the World Heavyweight as a separate. Then they're not counting North American and the IC. Mm-hmm. If they're counting both the NXT Worlds as one, then I would assume they would count the IC over the North American.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just being the main roster title.
Yeah.
But either way, there is more gold there that he has held, which means that stat is actually higher when you look at all championship gold, which is even crazier.
Yeah.
So it's regardless, very impressive statistic.
Very, very impressive.
Another thing which was just kind of clarifying, Seth's title run with the World Championship, because I had said that he's since they re-brought it in 2023, he had the longest run. That is correct. He did have the longest run, but then we were trying to remember like when it was from or what the length of time was. Didn't get the calculation of the actual number of days, but it was almost a full 11 months.
Okay.
He won it May 27th of 2023 and lost it April 7th of 2024 at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So there's that one. And then the final 2 are Blockbusters related, which is neither of us could remember the name of the movie with the daughter driving down the road, gets in an accident. Then Rosamund Pike and Matthew Rhys, the parents, are like, the whole thing was just anxiety riddled because the whole trailer is just them driving and on the phone with her and some weird shit's happening. It was called Hallow Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Hallow Road, that's that movie we covered a couple months ago or whatever. And finally, the release date of the first Conjuring movie. We couldn't fully pull that one out exactly. I threw out a time frame. I said it was like my late high school, early college. I was correct there. It came out July 19th of 2013.
Oh, wow. 2013.
Yeah. Which was the summer after my freshman year of college.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, because I graduated high school June of 2012, so my freshman year of college was 12-13.
Can I add one more fact check?
I missed one?
It was I said John Cena, Randy Orton wrestled at FCW, Florida
Oh,
Championship.
yeah. We
It's
talked about that
OVW,
live. Yeah, that's right.
Ohio Valley Wrestling.
That's right. Yes, OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling.
And I thought that I started to say OVW, but I said literally FCW. No, wait. It's Florida Champion. And those are the same thing.
Those are the same two things. Which is funny because I just rolled with it in the episode too. Like I didn't even catch it either. So, and like I think you said FCW, but I in my mind knew you were meaning OVW, and so I was thinking OVW, and I didn't even register that you said the wrong thing. Because then later that night I was like, yeah, it's it's OVW. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But then we talked about it at Backlash, and then it totally blew past my mind again when I was listening to the podcast to throw it on here. So yes, OVW.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's fact check, dog.
Well, man, I know we already alluded to it, but it's been 1 year of the podcast. And,
It sure has, dude.
I think we've come a long way in production value, although we do have a lot of hiccups here and there.
Hey, we're still amateurs at this. We're noobs.
I feel like when editing the episode, I learn something new every week.
Yeah, dude.
When we first went into this, I don't think I thought of every little facet that we would have to get into.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. I mean, there's you're the producer of the show essentially.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm like the social media guy.
Yeah.
And neither of those things were were really on our mind at all when we first started.
Nope.
Like, oh yeah, these things need to happen for us to actually be. I mean, successful. I think is a very.
These episodes would be a lot longer if we didn't cut out Ryan going to the bathroom.
Oh my God! Especially, I've been really good about that
lately
for the last couple months. I think actually I've done pretty good on not having to take a potty break in the middle of the show. But there were some times where it has happened like twice an episode. But yeah,
but it's been fun. It's I'm still loving it.
Same.
I think it's fun to do the research for the shows. It's been fun to come up with the TikToks that we do.
Yeah.
It's just
and new ideas for segments of the show, and I mean it's evolved a lot, over the course of the last year, and we've evolved a lot, dude. Yeah. I mean, we
started a weight loss journey.
Yeah, we did, man. We've lost like pretty close to combined 60 pounds, and I mean, dude,
we're still going,
and
it's been a lot of fun. I think one of the most fun things about it has just been talking about wrestling, talking about movies,
and things that we love and that
we would normally do, but putting it out
for years,
putting it out for the world to see. So,
oh yeah, man,
hell yeah, cheers, man,
cheers, dude,
to many more years.
Let's get to bells. Timmy, what do you want us to talk about?
What don't I want to talk about? Well, I'll tell you this.
Question.
The Raw hasn't been as good as the last 3 weeks. It still had some good moments, but
I agree.
We were riding on a real high, and this was definitely not as high as those three. But still, I want to talk about Becky Lynch. Just another solid promo. This didn't need Lyra. She talked about Lyra and kind of buried her in the promo, but not really. It was just like, you may have won, but I really won because you're the one in the hospital and I'm here right now.
Yep.
She went on to say, she's not going to change for the fans anymore. She's done that and it got her nowhere. She went on to say, if I'm not here for championships, what am I even doing here? Mm-hmm. And then the best line of it, and I hope it goes on a shirt or something because I'll definitely get it, but she said, now you'll really know what it feels like to be held down by the man. And I was just like, oh, such a cold line.
Yep. And straight mic drop after that, literally. Too. Like actual, like she legitly did a mic drop, like flicked it. And it was, I think this was the best Becky we've seen since she's been back.
Yes.
And that's saying a lot because the last few weeks of these back and forths between Lyra and Becky have been fantastic. But this just letting Becky cook on her own without any interruptions and just letting her come out and just pop off. This is what we want from Cena.
Oh, yes.
It's something like this, not the same just like crybaby spewing the same crap at the crowd, but like actually like, I don't know. It's just like this. I feel this. I don't feel Cena on the mic right now. You know, I've like, this was like, shit, this is real. Like she is like, she's spitting venom right now.
Yes,
and yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing.
I know she's tried the heel route before, but it never landed. This one's landing.
This one is landing.
It
for
feels
sure.
like
because and I think it took time because it's you can kind of equate it to, and which I think is part of the same reason why the Cena heel run is working. It was just like we said, we need to see a different form of it moving forward after Backlash. But I think it's the reason why these heel turns are working right now is because they're playing into the WWE universe with the heel turns. True. Where like you can equate Becky's earlier heel attempts to when Stone Cold turned heel. It didn't go well.
No.
It didn't go over because the fan base is so in love with him. It's hard to. And that's where Becky was for pretty much her entire career so far. She's been a fan favorite up until she won the world title the last time, and that's what she was saying in this promo. And then she felt it. She heard the fan base. She heard everyone. They're sick of her. She's squashing people. Becky Hogan, like all this shit that the WWE universe. So now she has fuel that she can lean into and really just go in on this heel turn, and it's hitting because the fan base is like, yes, you guys are taking what we have said and you're turning it into storyline, which is super like I don't know, I feel like it's super they're listening to us, right? Like there's a word for that, but I totally can't fucking think of what I'm wanting to say, but that's essentially it. It's like it's refreshing for the fan base to see what is being said online. And I know like they have gone on record too to say like, oh, the internet trolls, like whatever, but it's not always just internet trolls. Sometimes it's the legitimate fan base is like, come on. And those things they can like read between those lines, and they're leaning into things. And for sure. That's the cool thing. That's why this heel turn is working for her, I think.
And I feel like that's been the same with a lot of the heel turns going. It didn't work for Charlotte because I think they were pushing her as a face, and then the crowd turned on her, right? And then, but Seth Rollins' heel turn, is just like they're leaning into just real things, and it's working.
Yeah, it's going good.
All right, that brings me over to Judgment Day. Whatever is happening with them, and just more seeds are planted every week, but it's just I want them to get it over with. Almost, we've said it a long time ago now, and they're still
the Judgment Day itself should have ended with Damian Priest and Rhea.
Yeah,
and then the whole stable should have just blown up.
Yeah.
And they could have kept Liv and Dirty Dom going, and I don't know.
It would have been the same thing.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. We've had some good moments since. We've had some cool storyline moments. We've had good things happen. I don't know that Dom would be the IC if they would have disbanded back then, right?
Yeah,
so like we have gotten good stuff out of it, but storyline's sake, it is stale as all hell, and it needs to. This has been a slower burn than the New Day. Yeah. And that one was really, that was a doozy. So
that was, and it just
never had a payoff either. Like them being the champions right now is
nothing.
Pointless. It doesn't feel good. It's very forgetful. So
I agree with you. I do think there's been some great segments, some great things to happen, and I know when the breakup happens, like I'm still gonna like it. I know it's I'm still gonna pop
Yeah.
for it and
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
I popped for it when Dom pinned Finn Balor at WrestleMania
Yeah.
for the IC title. It's just
and I think the thing too that, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but I think the thing too that is going to make and what makes us be like, fuck, just do it already, is because of the potential for all of them. Mm-hmm. Like nothing is happening that much for them outside of Dirty Dom right now.
Yeah.
Being in the bloodline, the breakup means Dom is full blown face. Mm-hmm. Right. It means you end up in a weird situation with JD McDonough, which I think would be really good for his character as to like where does he go now? Who does he maybe choose? Like what side is he on?
Yeah.
Because you can tell, like, since he returned, he has been kind of like tug of war, right?
Yeah.
You get to see Carlito be Carlito, but then the breakup means Finn Balor is a singles wrestler again, and can break off and do his thing. Yeah. So I think all three of those things are really exciting situations, right? And I think for me, at least, that's the most intriguing part of like, let's fucking get this, let's do this, let's get this over so we can now push these guys in these other ways. Like the Judgment Day it's ran its course. Yeah. It was fantastic for a couple of years. Yeah. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. And I think it's just like the anticipation for what could be with that breakup happening that is just like making the slow burn so much harder to just swallow.
100%.
You know?
Agreed. Yeah. Next, we got J Time. This was, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the crowd, but it felt like a return to form. Like the crowd was energetic with like, it felt more than normal. When he came down and through the crowd. It was really cute when he held up the kid to yeet, and super funny when Pat was like, the kid got some more rhythm. That made me laugh, but it was just...
It is funny that Michael Cole literally yeets at least once a week for the most part. It has been now for almost a year, if not over a year now. And he's still so terrible at it.
Yeah.
But it's so much fun because he just looks like a nerdy just kid just having the time of his damn life.
Exactly.
Which is so cool.
Yeah. But no, it just felt different. It felt like, I think that match last week with Seth Rollins and just the build up to the match throughout the night really helped crowd get back behind him almost. Yeah. So that's what it felt like to me. But then we get Gunther coming down and saying he's next in line for whoever wins between Logan Paul and Jay. I'm kind of indifferent on that. I'm like...
I was hoping you were going to bring that up.
I was like, really? Gunther's going to go right for the title? I mean, I get he gets a rematch. I agree with the rematch clause. I think he should.
I agree with the rematch clause as well, as long as they're consistent with it, which they have been recently. Recently, yes. Recently, they have been for the most part.
Yes.
Right?
But it's just, I don't know. If it's going to be another Jay versus Gunther, I'm not, like, we've seen that match a lot.
Yeah.
So,
but it's also, you don't want Logan to beat Jay for it.
But what makes this interesting is that Money in the Bank is 2 nights before when Gunther is having his rematch for the title. So could that come into play during that match? Money in the Bank is June 7th. He said he's going to challenge.
It'll be on Raw?
And yeah, he said...
I totally misheard that. I thought he was saying it would be at Money in the Bank.
No, he's challenging him June 9th at Raw.
Oh, because Lindsay was even like, what's June 9th? And I was like, oh, it's Money in the Bank. I didn't even look it up because I was like, oh yeah, that's Money in the Bank. That's because he said Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But I totally misheard that. I thought he was saying at Money in the Bank. That makes a difference here.
That makes a difference.
It's really going to make a difference depending on who is in the Money in the Bank match. Because we only have... We'll get to it, but we only have one so far. Right? Because they didn't do any that started on SmackDown, right?
SmackDown,
yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
And the ones for Raw start this week.
Week, yeah.
But yeah, I was disappointed when he first said, I'm going to challenge whoever. I'm like, well, it's going to be hopefully Jay.
Yeah.
But they did tease the Logan Paul Gunther feud at when they were announcing the Netflix Raw debut and everything. They did tease that, but I'm assuming Jay's going to win. But now throw into the wrench, that Money in the Bank is 2 nights before. We could have something interesting happening on that Raw.
For sure. For sure we could.
No matter who's in the match, but I mean, now it's kind of like keep your eyes on who's in there. And
Yeah, to see like
makes
what
sense.
storyline seeds have possibly been planted before too,
Yeah.
on either side of potentially
Exact-
Gunther or Jay,
Exactly.
assuming Jay retains this Saturday.
Yep.
So yeah, that is interesting. I didn't even think about that because like I said, I thought that was happening at Money in the Bank, which I guess still could have played a part, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
realistically, the title match would probably be closing out the show.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
that is interesting, though.
Lastly, I got Punk and Sammy versus Braun and Seth is happening at Saturday night's main event. Why do I get this feeling that Sammy is going to join Seth and Braun? Like, so I think you
What
thought
makes
it.
you think this?
I think you thought it too, or at least a lot of fans thought it. But
I
when
definitely thought that Sammy was
returned-
turning on Jay.
Yes.
Definitely, and in that exact moment, I was like, "What is he doing?" And
He
I know
kept
I've
lingering.
I've read a lot of things too that like everyone like the fan base as a
Yes.
whole, almost like majority have felt like they were like, he's creeping kind of weird in the background, especially when Jay got
Yeah.
up on the turnbuckle. I think that was like the pivotal moment of that. That was like, oh no, what's happening?
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. And then, so yeah, I've kind of forgot about that until
then-
now you're bringing it back up.
But then, and it's funny, and I don't think I would have caught it, but we just recently did a TikTok cash-in of the Shield breakup where 3 people were in the ring. Sammy had a chair in his hands. 2 of them stepped forward, and Sammy was kind of leaning back, and it almost identical to what the Shield looked like when they were breaking up
shit.
this past Raw.
Yeah. And I'm also thinking like at, that was last week's Raw where CM Punk returned originally with the chair, correct?
Yes,
Like
yes,
not
in the
just
main
his
event.
previous,
Yes.
not just it was the World Heavyweight Championship
Yeah.
match. Sammy kind of like threw the title at Jay. Then too, like when they like kind of cleared the ring out and everything, he like slammed it at Jay. It wasn't like a here, hey man, here. It was like aggressive.
Yeah.
And then with the link, fuck.
What if that happens?
Are we gonna get Sammy turning and joining?
But then this could lead to that, like almost. I mean,
But
I don't
that
want it
also
to
wouldn't make sense either with
No,
the
it
whole
doesn't. Like Braun killing him and
well
everything.
that, but also the whole like saying if you take our offer and go to SmackDown, we'll set you up in a world title match.
Yeah.
Like if he joins them on Raw, he's not getting in a world title match because Seth wants the world title.
But what if?
Right?
What if the deal is Sammy's in Money in the Bank and Seth Rollins promised he's like, I'm gonna help you get the WWE title. I'm still going for the world or what? I
And
don't
then
know.
Seth and Braun completely just like annihilate everyone in the Money in the
Yeah.
Bank match, and Sammy wins.
That-
We haven't really seen that before in
No.
a Money in the Bank match, right? Where
But that
like
would be
a
so-
faction just demolishes everybody, and it's just like a unbattled win.
yeah.
He just like
exactly.
climbs up and just gets it.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy. I mean,
Holy shit.
chances are it does. It just seems eerily like it
Well,
just,
and they're so loosey goosey with who's on what show and everything. Like,
Yeah.
you could have Sammy and Seth in the same faction on Raw, but Sammy's the WWE champion.
on SmackDown. Yeah, for sure. it would be crazy.
That would be wild.
It would be insane.
That would be crazy. That would be. I'm not against that.
It just
I'm not,
I
because
don't
that
know,
would be
Sammy,
new. That would be new and refreshing.
Sammy's acting funny, and then just CM Punk is throwing out trust around a lot, and can't trust anyone. Basically, can't trust Heyman, obviously, and now he's like, Sammy's asking him, are we good? And he's like, I'm having trust issues right now, and he's like, but we'll be good for this match.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting what happens. I don't know. That's what's popping up in my head. put it out in the universe. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, we still could have Sammy facing Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. So I still think that's the long game.
I'm going to throw a whole other wrench in this right now. What if this all somehow still leads into this is The Rock's plan? And what if Jay turns? And what if we get like a finger poke of doom type situation where he just concedes the title to Seth?
Wouldn't that be insane?
I don't know. We're talking crazy shit, so I thought I'd throw that out too because that just popped in my mind.
Yeah.
But I guess it all would have made more sense for at WrestleMania.
It also
The Rock being like, Cena and Jay are my dudes.
Yeah.
That would have made the most sense.
Yeah.
Seth doesn't really make sense, but that would be fucking crazy because of because of last year's WrestleMania with Seth and The Rock.
Yeah.
That would. My own brain is melting right now thinking of all of these hypotheticals, and I'm here for almost everything we've said so far. I would just. Because it would be so even though like we just said them, I still think it would be so unexpected if it actually happened. You know, there's so many possibilities out of this right now.
That's why I wanted to leave it last, because
Yeah.
the Seth Rollins storyline on Raw is just, it's gold right now.
Absolutely
It's
beautiful.
just,
Yeah.
it's everything
Like that
we
and
need.
Becky
Yeah.
is just like, it's making the show absolutely worthwhile
Yeah.
to watch every
Absolutely.
week. All right. Well, moving over to SmackDown. A little bit of a lackluster night, I think. I think like how Raw this week didn't quite hold up to the previous weeks. SmackDown, like, definite. I think this was the worst episode of wrestling that we've had since WrestleMania.
Really? I thought this was a slight edge over, was it the week leading into Backlash? No, not that. It was the one before, but
Yeah, I guess.
I shit on the show quite a bit.
It's still last. I don't know. There's just so many things, and then the main event and like the no Cena.
Yeah, that
after
was,
winning back at Backlash, like there was no Cena, no Orton, no nothing even like about it other than a video package recapping. Like,
Yeah.
it was just weird to
That
me
was- yeah, for
that we
sure.
didn't get any of that. But the things that I did want to talk about: Alexa Bliss in the Money in the Bank match. Fuck yeah, love that. Little disappointed with the triple threat, but this kind of goes back to Elimination Chamber. They did very similar stuff where it's like, why are you having these three?
Yeah.
When you look at the roster on SmackDown, now they did kind of randomly all of a sudden sign Julia to SmackDown
right
when
after
she
she's
is
been a tag team on Raw.
yeah, so that was weird, but I do think it's the right move. I think
Yes.
moving Julia to SmackDown is the right thing.
For sure.
Because she's an up and coming star and everything. So like, and SmackDown needs the firepower in the
Yeah.
women's division for sure. So I think that's the right move. It's just kind of weird that it was like, oh, she's been on like for the last 3 weeks, been on Raw, maybe 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Like pretty much she's kind of been on Raw like since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Pretty close. And now all of a sudden she's just like, oh, now she's a SmackDown superstar. So it was just kind of weird. But regardless, you have Julia on there. But you look at the rest of the firepower outside of the one person that can't be in that match at Money in the Bank, which is Tiffany Stratton,
Yeah.
who is the most exciting person in the women's division on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And then you put like the three of the other most exciting in the same match, which I get that for
Made for a
that
great
night.
match.
Yeah, exactly. Like for that night's purpose, you have Chelsea, Meechin, and Alexa Bliss. Yeah, it was a great match. It was awesome. But all three of them arguably should be in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania. So it's just like, what the fuck are we doing? Right? Like, if I were to, without Julia being on SmackDown, if I were to pick 3 people from SmackDown and 3 people from Raw, because that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
Those would probably be the 3 that I would have picked. Would have been the 3 that were in that match.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, what the fuck? So love the fact that it's Alexa Bliss out of those 3. That makes 100% sense to me. I just wish that we could have got another year of Chelsea Green in it. Meechin's never been in the Money in the Bank match, right? So kind of was like, it was like bittersweet because I'm like, fuck yeah for Alexa Bliss because that's dope. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I was like, damn, they really put these three in a match together. Mm-hmm. Right person won. For 100%, Alexa Bliss winning.
Absolutely.
100%. The finish to that match was awesome.
Yeah.
It was so good. But I want, like, even if I had to eliminate one of those to not be in the Money in the Bank, it would be Meechin. Chelsea Green deserves to be in it for everything that she's been doing.
I agree.
Since being on SmackDown. And then what further irritates to that point is you have your women's U.S. champion in a qualifier match next week. Zelina Vega is in that match. She doesn't need, like...
No, she's the U.S. champion. Like, well, stop putting the mid-card titles. Use them as what they're supposed to be. Stop putting
That's
the people...
That's a whole other storyline.
Yeah.
You can have another storyline.
Exactly.
And you could tell SmackDown just kind of fills time.
Stop putting other title holders into these main championship qualifying matches. Because how many times have we seen... when Bianca and Jade were the tag champions, when Judgment Day's been the tag champions, like we've seen them all in these main matches for, Elimination Chamber qualifiers or Money in the Bank, whatever it's been. It's just like, fuck.
Come on.
Have them do what they're supposed to do as champion. They don't need to be thrown into other storylines when they're tag champions into single storylines. Or when they're the mid-card singles champion, they don't need to all of a sudden be put into a match that could put them in line to be a main title picture when they're the mid-title picture. Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
I know we've seen it before. This isn't the first time it's happened, but they're a champion. They should just be excluded from it because Money in the Bank, you can cash in for any title.
Exactly.
Right? Like, so it should...
Next thing. Fraxium.
So good.
They're fucking amazing.
Incredible.
It's insane. They're now 4-0. They have now beat Los Garzas, Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, who are the WWE Tag Team Champions, and now DIY, which was once again another fucking killer match with some brutal fucking spots.
Yeah.
And they're just so fast and so accurate and everything. But I think the main, like the number one move in that match, kind of surprisingly, that I was like, oh shit, was actually the double team DIY did to Frazier.
Yeah.
When they did, like, when he lifts him up for like the
fairy tale
ending. Fairy tale ending. Yeah. And he lift him up. And then that kick looked like he fucking went for it. Like, it looked like he actually kicked him square in the face with that super kick. I was just like, oh. But just I just want to talk just them as a whole. Like, that match was awesome. The backstage moments with the Street Profits was awesome. The last week with the attack by DIY on both them and Motor City Machine Guns. You get Motor City Machine Guns now come out this week and save them from a post-match beatdown. Like, I just feel like they're really just fucking flowing around Fraxium right now. And, like, it's going to be really interesting because they're now in a match, a title match.
Next Friday, yeah.
Next Friday for the titles. Do you think they're going to win?
I don't. And I feel like there's going to be interference.
There's going to be...
like DIY
I hope that the match ends in pinfall, though.
Yes.
Like, it needs to be like interference happens cleanly and not just fucking DQ.
Yes.
Right?
I agree.
But yeah, so I hope it ends in pinfall, and I do think that the Street Profits are going to retain here.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it would just be too similar to the Motor City Machine Guns debut.
Yeah.
Granted, it would be more matches because Motor City Machine Guns won the championships like in their second or third match, right? But just for them to literally like come up and just go undefeated 5-0 and win the tag titles, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
Even though it totally could happen and it would be dope if it did happen, I'd be excited for it. But I just feel like we're on like such a high that there's character-wise and storyline-wise, there's got to be a drop, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this has been one of the best call-ups, though, from NXT.
Absolutely.
For a long, long time. Like, it just... They're doing it right. Like, if you want NXT to be the building ground. I get not everyone could come out of NXT being superstars and being at the top of the card, but Frazier and Fraxium, they were incredible in NXT. They pushed everyone to the limit, and it just fits along with this SmackDown tag team division. It's just crazy to see how you can do a tag team division, make it exciting, and then you see Raw, and we're getting the same 3 teams.
Oh my God!
Intertwined, right?
War Raiders, New Day, and
Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha Academy,
or not Alpha.
No,
American Made.
American Made. Yeah,
yeah. But it's just, no. I definitely think this has been one of the best call ups, and I would be okay with them winning the titles. I don't think it will, but I think it would be okay.
Yeah,
because they've gone on to beat everyone.
Thirdly, I should have done these in almost a different order because my last 2 were just kind of downers. I'm going to be honest. This is exactly what I typed in my notes, Tim. Shinsuke.
Ugh. Yep.
Fucking eye roll.
Yep.
Why are we still getting video packages about him bitching about LA Knight?
I can't.
I'm sorry. Shinsuke needs, like, this is going to be, you might combat this just because I know how much you do love Shinsuke Nakamura. He should have been part of those cuts that they did almost. He is a useless character right now.
Yeah.
And he has been for a long time. Mm-hmm. They have not done anything with him. It's just like wasting space on the roster, unfortunately, because like I like Shinsuke too when he's cooking and when creative is good. But we haven't seen him for a couple of weeks now. Now all of a sudden he's back bitching about LA Knight and like trying to revive that. But LA Knight's off. LA Knight's been here week in and week out doing different shit.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. And I was just like, oh my God, why are we getting another fucking weird dark in the red video package? The character has not gone over in any way, shape, or form. It is not interesting whatsoever. I think you would be like hard fought to find anybody that's like, oh yeah, this is my favorite thing that Shinsuke's ever done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even put it in a top list of anything for what Shinsuke's ever done, unless it's a list of the worst things he's ever done. Right? I don't know. It was really like, it took me out of like the entire episode of SmackDown for that portion of it. I was just like, what the fuck are we doing? What is this? It makes no sense. Yeah. It literally makes no sense.
He doesn't. I mean, I know it's to set up this Money in the Bank qualifier match, but he hasn't been around
anything about the third person.
He did. He talked about.
I don't even remember who the third person is.
Aleister Black. It's the third. It's Aleister Black, Knight, and Nakamura. We know Black's not going to win because there's going to be Miz and Mello now, and so it's either Nakamura or Knight into the match.
And that sucks too because it should be Aleister Black.
It should, but
or LA Knight.
Yeah,
like LA Knight would be a fucking badass Money in the Bank holder.
Yes.
That would be actually perfect because he kind of has beef with a lot of different people in these main card pictures.
Yeah,
that would be dope. Shinsuke Nakamura has absolutely zero business being in that qualifying match, but also being in the Money in the Bank match, let alone winning the Money in the Bank.
Agreed.
But that's how much I was bored during that fucking video package then, Tim, because this is the show that I am focused on to take notes, and I didn't even register that he talked about Aleister Black.
Yep.
Because the second he started talking about LA Knight, I was just, like I said, it took me out of it. I just rolled my eyes and was like, okay, this is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree. I love Nakamura, but he hasn't been relevant in a long time. They haven't done anything great with him. I was excited for the little heel turn they did. It was a little fresh, but then it didn't land.
For a very short period of time.
It was a quick snap, and then he hasn't been around. So why is he in this Money in the Bank when you could fill in so many different different parts into this match? So I'm with you. If they're not going to push him in any way good, he should have been in one of the cuts, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it, like you said, it's been a long time.
Braun Strowman got let go.
Yeah.
Again. And he had at least been in some shit over the last few months that was like entertaining and had us very engaged.
He was elevating Bronson Reed and Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu, Bronson Reed, Judgment Day. Like he's been involved in quite a few bigger storylines over the last 6 months, and he got cut. We've barely seen Shinsuke Nakamura over the last couple months. Like I don't remember the last time we saw him before this video package, but it's been a while. And before that, he wasn't doing anything good. There wasn't anything that entertaining. Yep. So yeah, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense. And to wrap up my portion of this, well, I'm going to wrap this up, Timmy, with another downer. And we kind of alluded to it already earlier in the night or in the show, and I think you know what I'm going to talk about here. Why the fuck is Solo Sikoa winning that fucking match? That's, once again, you're talking Money in the Bank. Let's break this down for a second. Money in the Bank is one of the most exciting matches of the year. Mm-hmm. Like, really, you think about it, like the spots and the moments, it's always one that is like highlight reel spots. Yeah. And they always make a highlight reel like video package, right? Like this coming Money in the Bank, there's going to be a video package highlighting some of the big spots, like fucking Chelsea Green taking the fall from last year, right? Mm-hmm. Fucking whoever took, I forget who it was that did like the fucking sunset flip, EO, right?
Oh, yeah,
did the fucking, oh my God, that power bomb onto the thing, and we thought they were dying, or it was the driver, or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. They always have those spots. How the fuck do you put Rey Fenix into a qualifying match of this caliber in a match that he could almost redefine by himself? Mm-hmm. And Jimmy, hold on, because I'm trying not to get very angry right now.
I can sense it.
And Jimmy, who also, deserves to be in that fucking match. Like, he deserves to be pushed. Mm-hmm. He has not been pushed a single fucking time outside of tag team championships, right? Mm-hmm. He hasn't been pushed in any way, shape, or form. He hasn't been pushed for a mid-card title yet. He hasn't been pushed for a world title. Nothing. He has not been pushed as a singles competitor in any way, shape, or form. But yet, he continues to be one of the most entertaining characters on SmackDown every time he's on the fucking screen. Mm-hmm. You have Rey Fenix. You have Jimmy. And then you have fucking Solo Sikoa, who has been nothing but a giant bag of flaming dog shit since the new bloodline ended. Yeah. He has been literally like essentially a useless character. Mm-hmm. As useless as Shinsuke Nakamura.
I would agree with you.
And you have Solo win this fucking match.
Which is crazy. So I agree with you. I do think this SmackDown episode, like the intro, did more for Solo than past show, like, because he has been so bad. It felt like a little return to form of Solo. Just he was cooking on the mic with Jacob, and
but still, that
I agree.
That whole angle doesn't make sense either.
Putting
now all of a sudden Solo's back in charge.
Yeah,
which I mean, Jacob continues to kind of put the kibosh on that. Yeah, which which is good. I do like that angle, but still, yeah. It's like, what the fuck? It's like they're trying to regenerate the buzz of the new bloodline thing, and it doesn't make any sense because that shit's over. It's done.
Which is crazy because now it's...
There is no tribe. There's no tribal chief. Nothing. It's all done.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, when is Jimmy going to get his time? Right? Because he deserves it.
Yeah, no, Jimmy deserves it.
Jimmy deserves it. When is he going to get the push?
And the match, the Money in the Bank ladder match, and the fan base deserve Rey Fenix in that fucking match.
Yes.
That would be insane.
He's a highlight reel.
It would be absolutely insane to have him in that, and how good that would be. And yeah, so that I was just like, oh my God.
Are they going to have maybe like on both sides, Raw and Smack? I don't know how they would do it, but is there going to be a last chance match to get into it? And maybe Rey Fenix sneaks in that way. I don't know, but yeah, not entirely crazy about Solo being the first person into the Money in the Bank.
And I think that's why I just felt like the show was kind of just like, what the fuck? Because it's like, you get this weird return and push of Shinsuke Nakamura that makes no sense. You get Solo winning this match that makes no sense. You have the fucking main event, which I didn't even put in my notes because I didn't want to talk about it, but here I am, which, again, makes no fucking sense. You get fucking Naomi Myers lurking in the background of fucking promos in
that was weird.
fucking neon clothing. Like, for the love of God, at least make it more like a fucking, if you're gonna do that type of thing, at least lean into the horror movie genre of it and have it be less noticeable.
Yeah.
And have it be like, oh, dude, did you catch that? Not, oh, hey, there's a fucking traffic cone standing in the background. Like,
I just don't get why she didn't attack in that moment. We're not talking about that. So
yeah. Anyways, I think that was just the show was just very lackluster to me. And even though I know, like, what, it was 2 weeks ago, I think, where it was just kind of like, fuck.
But that was because it was SmackDown.
Yes, but that was because it was a lot of filler.
Yeah.
This was like storyline. There was actually a lot of attempt at storyline driving in this episode of SmackDown, which I think is why it felt like more of a letdown.
Yeah.
Because, like, we knew that episode was a filler episode. Like, it just was.
Yeah.
Right? And I want to say that episode that we're talking about might have been the go-home show to WrestleMania. Because we were expecting more, but it just wasn't.
So it was
Or was it the week after Mania?
I want to say it was the week after Mania.
Either way,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it was.
We were disappointed about that.
Yes,
too.
we were, but I just remember us being like, it was just a lot of filler.
Yeah,
it was a lot of filler. Mm-hmm. This show wasn't a ton of filler. This was actually like stuff that was like creative pushing, and it was just bad.
Yeah,
it just wasn't good.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Bummer. But to end on high notes, that's what brings us to our banger of the week. Timmy, what do you got for us?
Well, I feel like you're going to be mad at me.
Don't you fucking tell me that it's Solo Sikoa winning the fucking match.
No.
I will kick you square in that dick.
Nope. My
Right
banger of the
in the
week was
dick.
Nia and Tiffy. I thought the match was brutal. It hit hard. Every move in that match hit hard, and I thought they brought it. It made Tiffany look pretty strong. I like the chair shot to Nia where it busted her open immediately.
It fucking busted her open, yeah.
There was no
was
blading
crazy.
in that.
No.
That was chair cutting her open.
Yeah.
But that Annihilator, not safe, but holy shit, that was a big moment.
Yeah, that was wild.
That was insane. And just, I don't know. I'm going to give them their flowers.
What if she would have landed on her head?
I know. It was just... I saw that and I was like, holy shit.
We saw another death in a WWE ring. Oh, did they fall from the sky again? Nope. Nia Jax did. R.I.P.
But just every move in that match hit hard. I hate that Naomi came out, but it did bring the chair into play.
Yeah, and here's the thing is I didn't put it on my notes because it didn't feel like it outweighed any of the other moments to me to talk about as points. I'm not mad at you. I totally understand why you put it as your banger because I do think it was a good match. Mm-hmm. It was probably the best match that we've seen between the two of them.
Yeah.
I think I'm over it.
Oh,
I'm tired of that. I'm
sure.
tired, and I hope this is the end. Like, Nia Jax needs to not end up back into the main title picture for a long time at all, while Tiffany is still the champion.
Agreed.
And then the Naomi coming out, and then the Jade coming out, and it just all like I'm over that too. It's annoying. Like that should have ended when Jade beat her, and it should have just been done.
Yeah,
but
we're not done with it. But it's not over for some reason.
I know it's not, but it's just like, and it's like that took me out of it too. So that's why I was just like, I don't even want to fucking talk about it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you at least bringing attention to the fact that the match itself was good.
Yeah.
So 100% give them their flowers because it was a good match outside of the Naomi part. But like you said, that is what brought the chair into play. Yeah. So, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What do you got?
My banger of the week, I'm going to the other show.
Nice.
And it is not, which is kind of funny because my bangers from the show you took notes on and your bangers from the show I took notes on. But this is one that we talked about, and it was the one that you started the entire what do you want to talk about off with, and I'm going with Becky Lynch's fucking promo, because that was not only the best we've seen Becky on the mic since she's returned, but that was one of the best promos we've gotten, I think, in a while too. And we've gotten some fire fucking promos.
Really good ones.
This was, it just felt raw.
Yeah.
No pun intended, because it's on Raw, but it felt raw. It felt real. It like, you could feel like everything she was saying, whether she actually did or not. It kind of felt like a shoot promo.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't think it was.
No,
but it had that feel, and that's when you know a promo's good. Is when you're like, damn, they're just going off the cuff right now. Like, ooh.
And I'm sure there was some angst in there against the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, but again, that's why I think like this heel turn is going over so well, and she's leaning into it so easily, because I think there is that, and that's when the heel turns, I think, happen the best, is when they're able to take the real life bullshit that they keep hearing and getting shit on for, and they just lean into it and go. And that's when you get this. And that's fuck yeah to Becky Lynch, man. And she's on that TV screen, I'm fucking locked in right now.
Yeah.
So,
and now you know what it's like to be held down by the man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, so good.
I know it was. So it was a great line. All right, that brings us to our unfortunate segment that we feel that we have to do, right? It's something that we do want to do because we want to acknowledge these situations, but we have our Triple B Memoriam toast once again, but this time it's for the first time in the belts section. It was last Sunday, I believe, right? Last Sunday was the day after Backlash. We lost Sabu.
Which is just insane.
It is insane.
He just had that match a week ago. Or 2
well
weeks ago.
documented match, because he's 60, still taking these bumps.
Yeah.
Have you in the week since read what the actual cause was? Because I hadn't been able to find anything.
I
also haven't looked in the last couple days. So I don't know. I just don't know what the cause of the death was yet. But it was definitely shocking. There obviously, at least to our knowledge, wasn't like a long-standing health situation that he just lost the battle to, because if that was the case, don't think he would have been taking the fucking bumps that he took in that crazy ass match. But he was, I believe, 60 years old.
I want to say 60 years old. And
I mean, dude, a fucking pioneer of what the definition of hardcore wrestling was. An ECW original, just a badass motherfucker.
And it's just so many moments he produced, just in ECW and WWE and all those, and continued to do at age 60, and
seriously,
it is sad news. And then just watching AEW this last week, Taz gave a great little tribute at the announce table, and Taz is a tough motherfucker, and seeing him get emotional it wrecked me. And
dude, I'm gonna have to go watch that. I'm gonna have to find that, because they were close.
They were very close.
They had some fucking killer matches too. So
definitely highly recommend you just watch it, just because it was real. It's we lost a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the silver lining of when we do lose people like this, you especially in the wrestling industry, you get to see the real life break of kayfabe and all of that they try to hold true to, even still today. They try the best that they can with the world that we're living in now to hold true to kayfabe. But then in these moments, you get to see like that real rawness from Taz, right? Who you've never seen that from before, right? You know what I mean? So it's like that, and I think that is a silver lining or like a, looking at the glass half full type of optimistic view of like, you get to see the human side of a lot of these individuals that you don't typically get to see, which I think is a refreshing thing to get to see. So,
Agreed.
Yeah. Well, cheers to Sabu and the many memories that he gave to us as wrestling fans growing up.
Hell yeah.
That brings us to our belts question of the week this week. Kind of a different one.
Yeah.
Right? We haven't done one like this before. I saw this. I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I've told you a couple times before, there's a couple pages that I follow that'll throw stuff on that I have pulled from for our questions. And this is another one. And I pulled this straight from it. It is a 9-picture grid.
Okay.
And so it's 3 across, three separate rows. And it says erase 1 legend from each row. This is not easy.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna say what the 3 rows are first, and then we'll go through first row, second row, third row, back and forth. But just so the listener has an idea of what we're dealing with here. The top row from left to right: Ric Flair, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. Row number 2: Bret Hart, The Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels. Row number 3: The Undertaker, Macho Man Randy Savage, The Rock. You have to eliminate 1 from each row. Mm-hmm. All right. We'll start with. Do you want to start? Go top to bottom.
Yeah, let's go top to
bottom. All right. So we'll go row 1 from the top. Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan. Who are you eliminating? First, this is a doozy to start with. Let's just acknowledge that.
First and third row were the hardest.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes, absolutely. I think the second row is, I think, obvious.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but I think it's obvious.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. So out of the first row, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, I would get rid of Hulk Hogan. It was a very close one between him and Ric Flair. But I give the slight edge to Ric Flair because he had great in-ring chemistry with a lot of superstars. Mm-hmm. Really good in the ring, tactician, just chops. He told the story in the ring very well. His promos, they're good. They're great. They're some of the greatest. Not always for me. He's a little over the top. But Hulk Hogan is just he didn't get a lot of variation other than some of his characters that he had held throughout the years. He's one of the biggest things in wrestling, but if you just look at it from a match standpoint, from how his character kind of progressed, it was the same. So that is why I'm getting rid of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Stone Cold would never get rid of.
No. Yeah, it's Hulk Hogan. Same. I'm with you on that. It's Hulk, Stone Cold, and Ric Flair. I think Stone Cold obviously changed the industry. I think Ric Flair did at that point too in the 80s, kind of changed the industry. I think also he built himself. Hulk Hogan was manufactured.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was that manufactured, this is loose, but I'm comparing it to how we've kind of talked about how Roman's reign was manufactured. Yeah. Right. Hogan was the 80s Roman Reigns now, right? Where Ric Flair, kind of the Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
He's kind of built himself up, and he has forced himself into relevancy and staying relevant. And I feel like that was kind of Flair, to a point. You know what I mean? So yeah, I feel like for that reason, that's why I kind of lean towards Hulk Hogan, because you have a lot of those moments and stuff where it was dude, Hulk Hogan wouldn't fucking take a bump. Mm-hmm. You know, he never took any big, killer, Ric Flair was, and now it became a joke later and in the latter part of his career, but I mean, he was legitly fucking busting open on a regular basis, just getting fucking clocked with shit left and right and putting his body through the fucking ringer. So I think, and again, we're not really hitting on Stone Cold Steve Austin because, duh.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin is probably second greatest superstar of all time. Next to another one on this list that we're going to get to here shortly. But all right, so we both went Hulk Hogan on the first row. Second row, we got Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Shawn Michaels.
This was my easiest. Get rid of Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, easily get rid. Yeah, it's. I mean, if you're talking just in-ring ability, it's clearly two of the best to ever do it. And Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, this one, it's a no-brainer. You get rid of Ultimate Warrior.
No
you talk
conversation.
about you talk about storylines and creative and character arcs and just everything. Like Ultimate Warrior is the least out of those three, easily.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that one. I don't think that one really needs a lot of
exactly.
like argument or discussion. It's Ultimate Warriors is getting taken off there. Row number 3, I think for me is the hardest one.
Oh, absolutely.
You have The Undertaker, you have Macho Man Randy Savage, and you have The Rock. Timmy, what'd you go with?
This one was so hard.
Yeah,
I'm getting rid of The Rock.
Why are we the same? Why do we have the same brain? Yeah, I'm getting rid of The Rock too.
It sucks because he's generated so many great promos. He's great in the ring, but he also it wasn't long.
Yeah.
Also,
it was it was only like 6 years. 90 was it like 96 to 2003-ish, right? Was it 7 years?
2003, because he basically after WrestleMania 19 went Hollywood for good.
Yeah, and I mean obviously he has been in and out over the last 22 years, but yeah, like his full-time run as a WWE competitor was 7 years max.
It was impactful.
So,
there's a lot of great moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was at the greatest time in wrestling history, too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was, I think. At like, you could argue that now is the most popular and all that.
I would still give it.
But the Attitude Era has the edge and will forever have the edge until something actually fully outdoes it.
But Macho Man, I think it was easy to get rid of Hulk Hogan because the opponents he went against made him look that great, you know? Macho Man and his history with Hulk Hogan.
Macho Man might be...
He's just so
underratedly
good.
And he's one of the best Intercontinental Champions of all time.
He's still talked about as one of the best matches ever to happen with Ricky
Steamboat Dragon. Yeah, dude. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Let's go.
And then Undertaker is just arguably one of the greatest, if not
I think the Undertaker is the greatest character of all time, and he is one of the best in-ring performers too. And that's the thing with the Taker is there's not many dudes of his size that you are putting in that category of the best in-ring workers.
Yeah.
But he is in that category.
Yeah.
You know, he's one of the longest in-ring careers, the best character of all time, and will probably, I mean, you're going to be hard fought to fucking find one that will ever go down as a better character than The Undertaker.
And I feel bad because it's going to be extra hard nowadays to even find anything to come close, because there was the ultimate kayfabe back in his day, and now everything's just out there in the world. So coming up with a character that can over time just make your imagination run wild. So that was a hard row, and you can argue pretty much. I think the only one you can't argue, I would say, is Undertaker. You would have to leave Undertaker.
Yeah.
I think the arguments between The Rock
eliminating
and Macho
one from that row, or sorry, if you're only keeping one from each row, that would be hard for row 2 also. But it's an easier
I would keep
choice.
Shawn Michaels.
It's Shawn. Yeah, I'm keeping Shawn.
Taker and Stone Cold.
Stone Cold, Shawn, and Taker. Yep, that's
which kind of lines up just when we started watching
it
wrestling.
Does.
So that probably plays a
It
part.
might be a little skewed, but Brett was still very relevant.
Yes.
At that point.
Yes.
But yeah, it's Stone Cold, Shawn, and Taker. But yeah, if you were only to keep one from the bottom row, it's 100% the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And you know, people might come at us for fucking keeping Macho Man, but I think I think Macho Man Randy Savage he's super underrated.
if Hulk Hogan wasn't around, he'd probably be that face
Yeah.
of WWE, right?
Yeah, because he would have been the face and Ric Flair would have been the heel.
Yeah.
And that's most of their matches. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
And those were some fucking great matches, fighting over Elizabeth and everything too, between Ric Flair and Macho Man. Yeah, man. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, dude. I honestly didn't expect us to be actually on the same page throughout the whole thing outside of row number 2. I knew we were going to both pick Ultimate Warrior because that's a no fucking brainer. But
I didn't know where you were going with
I
row
thought
one.
you were going to be shocked with me eliminating The Rock in row 3. I didn't think you were going to eliminate The Rock too. That one kind of blew my mind. But yeah, and I wasn't sure where you were going to go row 1 either. So
Yeah.
well, dude. That brings us over to
Blockbusters.
We got some stuff lined up on the Blockbuster segment this week, and we're popping it off with Smurfs.
Yes,
we got the Smurfs, new Smurfs movie. It's a reboot of the Smurfs franchise once again.
Is this a reboot?
Yep, reboot. So this is its own standalone thing now. The synopsis for this is: when Papa Smurf is mysteriously taken by evil wizards Razamel and Gargamel, Smurfette leads the Smurfs on a mission into the real world to save him. With the help of new friends, the Smurfs must discover what defines their destiny to save the universe. The cast of this is jam-packed. We got Rihanna as Smurfette. We got James Corden, Nick Offerman, Daniel Levy, Natasha Lyonne, Octavia Spencer, Nick Kroll, Kurt Russell, and John Goodman. The release date for this will be July 18th of this year, and it will come out in theaters. And Timmy, what'd you think of it? What'd you think of the trailer?
I thought it was, I was confused if it was a reboot, so I didn't go in knowing what that was. But I like just the intertwine of the real world, but animation going on.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a fun one. I enjoyed the other Smurf movies, and Smurfs were part of my childhood, and
absolutely.
Just seeing them come back to the big screen, I'm all on board for that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I am kind of drawing a blank on the other Smurf movies. At least one of the other Smurf movies also went live action.
Yeah,
correct?
it was number 1. Yeah,
The first one. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Did those ones also have Razamel in it, or was it just Gargamel?
I believe it was just
Gargamel. Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought. So I didn't want to be completely off base when I say this, but I'm kind of excited for the introduction of Razamel into it all too.
Yeah,
because he was a big later character in the original run of the Smurfs show.
Yeah,
which I grew up watching, and yeah, so I was like, oh hell yeah, because at first when I was watching the trailer, I was like. Fuck, are they just doing Razamel? They're not even doing Gargamel? And then they popped up Gargamel too. And I was like, oh, we're getting both these motherfuckers. Let's go. That's the greatest tag team of all time.
Yeah. I'm excited. I love Nick Offerman too.
Oh,
and
my
just
God, I know.
hearing his voice come to, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't even need to look up the cast.
Yeah.
It's Nick Offerman.
I know. And I was excited to see Kurt Russell and John Goodman's name on there because I don't know who they're playing. I didn't look up who any of the people are other than I know Nick Offerman's Papa Smurf. And then I'm pretty sure James Corden is the red-bearded Smurf.
Okay, yeah.
It sounded like him, but I could be wrong about that. But then, and then obviously Rihanna's Smurfette. But
It should be a fun movie.
Yeah, I think so too. And the animation style in it, I think, is
cool.
Is new. It's cool. It's different, especially from the other Smurf franchise of movies.
It feels
right?
old but new at the same time.
It's
a good blend.
Exactly. It felt very like an ode to the show.
Yeah.
But also with new animation, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, and then it kind of, this is going to might be a weird poll, but I think you're going to understand what I'm saying here. It kind of gave me vibes of the last Spider-Verse movie, where it had all of the different animation styles throughout it, right? And so it kind of just, obviously this doesn't have the different animation styles necessarily, but it was just kind of, it was a different type of animation that I don't feel like we've really seen that much before, and so I liked it. I'm excited for it.
I agree. Brings us to The Long Walk.
Fuck me.
I was really excited to see this trailer out of the blue. Synopsis from the highly anticipated adaptation of master storyteller Stephen King's first written novel. And Francis Lawrence, the visionary director of the Hunger Games franchise films, a group of teenage boys compete in an annual contest known as The Long Walk, where they must maintain a certain walking speed or get shot. Cast is Mark Hamill, we've talked about him, Judy Greer, Garrett Waring. Release date is September 12th, 2025, and the platform is in theaters. Damn, this trailer looks crazy. But so simple in the idea of it all.
Oh my God, yeah. Super simple.
Just walking down the road. Yes.
I think this is absolutely 100% the last competition or death scenario that I would want to be in.
Oh, absolutely.
Give me the Hunger Games 10 times out of 10. Give me the Running Man 10 times out of 10. Give me the Condemned 10 times out of 10 over this.
Yeah.
Fuck this. We have watched a shit ton of trailers recently that are just like over the top, anxiety filled. This might have took the cake.
Yeah.
Because of how simple the concept is. And it's literally, oh, you slow down under 3 miles per hour, you fucking die.
Yeah. And you get 3 warnings.
Which is worse, 3. Almost. It's almost worse.
The anticipation is going to mess you up.
Because it's like, oh, I don't have a choice. I have to fucking stop right now. Like the kid with the cramp or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, oh, he fell to the ground. And it's just like, at that point, just fucking shoot me. Just
well, he
boom,
did.
Just fucking shoot
He
me.
got shot.
But not after 3 warnings. Don't give me 3 warnings, because that just makes it worse.
Just do it.
I was just like, what the fuck? Oh my God.
And then the shot of the guy walking on the broken
foot.
My
God. Not even dragging it.
No.
Just straight fucking stepping on it.
Ugh.
Oh my Lord, man. I'm so excited for this movie, but I am so not excited for this movie at the same time. Like, I can't wait to watch this. I don't know how else to put it.
No,
I'm going to be on edge the entire fucking time. I'm not going to enjoy my experience at the same time that I'm going to love this fucking movie. So,
agree.
Oh my God. Stephen King, you are a goddamn masterful, terrifying person.
Yes. 100% yes. It's just, it's going to be
and
good.
You get Francis Lawrence, who's behind the fucking Hunger Games franchise.
And it definitely fits this movie,
vibes.
but
yeah, for sure.
But also just, you're just walking.
And it's like they're all making friends with each other and like bullshitting and talking.
And only one survives.
It's literally, they all know only one of them is going to live out of this. So at some point, and they didn't really allude into this at all, I feel like at some point there's got to be sabotage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like you start getting to the point where you're like, fuck, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep going. Like you got to start thinking about tripping people and like doing some fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But they didn't, that didn't really get shown at all in the trailer. So I don't know. But you feel there's gotta be, man. And we've seen fucking storylines and movies and shows of like those things sabotage. Where it's like you're touching the truck. You know, you know what I'm talking about, like the
Saw movies.
Yeah, oh my God, the Saw movies for sure. But less fucked up. I'm just talking about like as simple as like you're touching the truck and you win the truck if you're the last one to touch it.
Yeah,
right. And people start fucking like sabotaging that, like sneezing in other people's directions to just get them to leave, and all sorts of stuff like that. Pouring liquids to make people have to really pee and let go, and like that's just innocent.
Yeah, exactly.
This is literally life or death. So you know there's got to be some sabotage.
And then the finish line to the trailer is, there is no finish line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just keep going.
Yeah, there's no you're literally walking until there's only one of you left walking.
You walk long. You long walk.
You walk long on the long walk.
Mountainhead.
This is an interesting one.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
A group of billionaire friends get together against the backdrop of a rolling international crisis. Cast as Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Rami Youssef, and Corey Michael Smith. The release date for this is May 31st, 2025. Platform is on HBO Max. It's crazy. Like, the concept of it is just insane. You're getting for the most powerful people going off into the mountains, and then chaos is ensuing around the world, and they're like,
but they're like learning about it after it's happening, right?
Yeah.
It's
And
like
then-
they're learning about it after like shit's already kind of hit the fan. But it sounds like it, at least from the trailer, it seems like it's like caused from one of the billionaires' endeavors of some form.
And it's I don't know, the trailer gives me vibes just like none of these people are good people. None of the four are good. But you're interested in where it's going to play out, but they're like the people that can help fix whatever's going on at the same time. It's a crazy concept, and I don't know, I don't know what's going to happen in the movie, obviously, but it didn't give a lot away in this, because it just feels like, oh, we're going to laugh along with these guys, but maybe that will make us hate them because there is chaos and they're just enjoying their time away.
Yeah, but I feel like it's going... I almost feel like there's going to be, not to this exact extent, but there's going to be some form of like the Purge vibes of some form in this, but almost like inwardly, like within the four of them. Like something, I feel like something's going to happen that's going to create a rift between them, and then something weird and bad's going to start taking place. I don't see this just being like a happy-go-lucky thing, right? Like, it's going to get intense. It's going to get crazy.
And I've never watched, but I was reading like comments like under the trailer, and they're like, well, I've been missing Succession, I've been missing White Lotus, this fits in perfectly, and people are really excited. So, and it is from one of the creators of Succession. So, so
I never watched Succession.
I haven't.
I think
but
I
I've
watched
heard
like
really
I think
good
I watched like the
things.
first episode, and I, at least at that point, I just didn't get into it. So, but yeah.
That brings us over to the series side of things.
All right, yeah, I put this on here, but I know you would have also. Ironheart, right? We finally you mentioned this a few couple episodes ago that this was coming out soon, and you kind of said that we just like hadn't really gotten anything about it, and well, here we go. Got the full thing. Synopsis. Set after the events of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, Marvel Television's Ironheart pits technology against magic when Riri Williams, a young genius inventor determined to make her mark on the world, returns to her hometown of Chicago. Her unique take on building iron suits is brilliant, but in pursuit of her ambitions, she finds herself wrapped up with the mysterious yet charming Parker Robbins, a.k.a. The Hood. The cast of this is Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, Anthony Ramos as The Hood, Lyric Ross and Alden Ehrenreich, or Ehrenreich, however you say that. Release date will be June 24th of this year, and it will be coming out on Disney Plus. I think it's exciting to finally get, because we've known that this has been in the works for a long time now, right? Just with her introduction in Black Panther, you just kind of knew that they were going to continue this character. We're assuming. I tried so hard to fight that one. You could see me doing it too. I'm assuming that they're going to eventually win what is now being titled the Champions, which is the Young Avengers. Comes to fruition that she will be a part of this. And so we knew this has been in the works, and now it's just exciting to see this happening again, right? Like we're getting her back. It feels very... I feel at least in the same kind of vein as when we were getting the lead up and all the marketing for Miss Marvel, where you're getting Kamala Khan, and you're getting, just that kind of same vibe where it's this one-off, side shoot of a character getting its own show. Yeah, the one that we've seen a little bit of, but not a lot of, and I don't know. I think it's exciting. I'm stoked for it. I'm here for everything that has to do with the MCU, as has been very well documented. So, what do you think?
No, I agree. I definitely feel like, again, that just the Young Avengers came first to mind. Is obvious, even in Black Panther, Wakanda Forever just got that Iron Man vibes, when he first came out, and that's kind of where this feels like it's going. But Also like seeing different just characters, like the Hood coming into this, and it feels like it's not going to be like he's the immediate bad guy, but slowly becoming into that.
He was in Miss Marvel, wasn't he?
I don't remember him being in it, but he could have been.
I'm trying to think who was that one other kind of side character that like helped her out a couple times. I thought that was him as the Hood.
Maybe.
But
I'll have to check that out. But yeah, it's cool to see like magic coming in, especially with like talks of Mephisto and talks of, and just like X-Men coming into the part. It's just it's branching out, and I like it. And I think to your point, it just gave very similar vibes to like Miss Marvel, and I enjoyed that show a lot.
I loved that show,
and
it's probably top 3 for me in the Marvel shows.
Yeah,
is Miss Marvel.
I would agree.
I've loved it. I thought it was awesome.
It was a fun one, and so I feel like this fits right into that, and it just gives us almost like a little breather before we get right into Fantastic Four and Doomsday. So.
Okay, who the hell was it then? Who am I thinking of? Damn it! I tried to fact check it live. The Hood was not in.
Because I was in L.A., right? Miss Marvel was in L.A., I want to say, and this is in Chicago. I mean, it's not.
I just feel like we've seen the Hood before for some reason, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Is this the first time that we're seeing the Hood?
I feel it has to be.
Okay, fair enough. I didn't think it was, but yeah, I'm stoked for this regardless. And we just had Thunderbolts. This comes out. This starts streaming. This only like
a month.
A month before.
Yeah,
a month
and a week.
Yeah, a month and a week from now. But it starts streaming only like, I think it's less than a month before the Fantastic Four comes out.
It's only 6 episodes.
So it might line up perfectly then, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool that's how they're kind of getting back to that almost sort of, right? It seems like at least a little bit where they're like having a movie drop and then there's a show in between to kind of tide you over, and then there's a movie drop and then hopefully another show, and so on and so forth.
Agreed. This brings us over to Task. FBI agent Tom leads a task force in a Philadelphia suburb to put an end to a string of drug house robberies led by an unsuspecting family man. Cast is Mark Ruffalo, Sylvia D'Annunzio, and Emilia Jones. Release date is in September 2025. It didn't give a definitive date, but again, another HBO Max show. I thought the trailer is great. It looks hard. It goes hard. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a violent one. It kind of gave me vibes of that Apple Plus show that just came out. It was Dope Thief, yeah. It kind of gave me those kind of vibes.
Yeah, for sure. I see that.
You got I'm a big fan of Mark Ruffalo.
Me too.
The Hulk for us in the Marvel
But
MCU.
he looks like a kind of battered down on his luck. He kind of reminds me in a sense of Gerard Butler's character in Den of Thieves.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of. He's kind of like that disgruntled, older, old timer, on the force type guy. Kind of seems like this.
Yeah, and then just you could tell some stuff is going to go down just because he's leading a team of younger people who have not a lot of experience, and so it felt emotional. You felt the violence, and I feel like it's gonna be a good show. And
I really like the actor who plays the unsuspecting family man, the guy that had the long hair in the trailer. That was like the lead guy of the robberies. His name's not on it isn't put down on the cast here, and I forget exactly what his name is, but he played in Ozarks.
Oh, okay.
He was the mom's brother in that, and he was awesome in that show for the time he was on it. And I haven't really seen him in much else. And so when I saw him, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm stoked because I loved him in that show. So I'm excited to see him in this type of role now too.
Yeah, man.
Brings us over to Fred. Follow up rumors, early development. We did that pretty good for never doing that in cohesion before. That was pretty solid. All right. We got on here. I think this is the only thing that we have on this portion of the show this week. And it's a pretty fucking good one. We got the newest Superman trailer, which gave us quite a bit more
Yeah.
Kind of dove a little bit more into, I feel like, what storyline is going to be about a little more of, at least, and kind of the angle of where we're getting this all from, right? Because like almost the entire trailer is essentially like a
interview
between Lois Lane and Clark Kent as Superman. So it shows you that if not the whole film, at least at some point in the film, she quickly, in this very first film of the DCU that we're getting of Superman, Lois Lane is finding out that Clark Kent is Superman.
Yeah.
You know, she's being able to see behind the glasses.
Yep.
Right. Which I say that because that's fucking that's one of the reasons why I can't stand Superman as a superhero, is because I am a superhero.
Is that you? Who are you?
Yeah.
You're not my co-host.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ryan!
I'm back.
There you are.
Disguised.
Where'd you go?
Right, I know. It's super convincing. So, anyways. But all that, neither here nor there. Getting back to the point of this. Trailer looks dope. It continues to get me invested in Superman again, which I have never really been that invested in Superman. But James Gunn knows how to tickle my fancy, I think. And so getting to see Metamorpho creating fucking kryptonite in the cell was kind of fucking wild to see. You get some pretty good glimpses of the rest of the kind of crew that Hot Girl,
Green Lantern,
fuck me, Green Lantern, but the dude with the mask. Oh god damn it! I forget his fucking name. That's gonna piss me off. It's like right on the tip of my tongue, Terrific. Mr. Terrific.
Yep.
Mr. Terrific's in there. And yeah, so I don't know. We're getting new DC characters that we really haven't seen in live action that much before, if at all, for some of them in this very first Superman film, which I don't feel like is typical.
Yeah.
Right. But it kind of feels that there's a Guardians of the Galaxy-esque vibe to this, right? Obviously coming from James Gunn.
Yeah.
But just where it's like an introduction of this team, not an individual, but of a team kind of. And now I don't know plot-wise if Superman is working with Hot Girl and Mr. Terrific and all them, but just kind of that sense where you're getting multiple important characters introduced, just like we did in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and there's like, you can tell that there's funny in this, there's very real, very serious drama, emotion, anger, fight, like everything, right? So I think you're going to get a good span across everything with it.
Absolutely.
And the visuals of this fucking thing so far look
incredible.
amazing. So.
Yeah. I think I agree to your point. Taking off the glass, blah, blah, blah. But I like how they changed his voice for the interview. It was Clark Kent talking, and then when she goes to interview Superman, he changes his voice.
Yeah, it's now Superman talking.
It was that was a cool little twist to it. And then,
just those details, right?
And I feel like this movie is trying to do the opposite of what Snyder was trying to do with his, where it was almost exactly what MCU was doing, building the Justice League. This feels like it's already formed, and that's why we have all these characters in this movie already, and it's refreshing. He's opening the DCU with
wide
everyone.
Open. Yeah, they're establishing the fact that all of these characters exist right away instead of doing the long game, because the long game has already been done, and it's already been done successfully, so you can't rewrite that formula. So this is the smartest way that James Gunn could do this.
Exactly, and definitely got the vibes of like Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. It looks visually just stunning. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be top notch. I'm really excited for this one.
Yeah.
And
I think that like Henry Cavill, great actor, but he was like almost too perfect looking.
Yeah.
Right, like David Cornsweet doesn't look perfect, right? He looks more kind of like your average dude. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like he doesn't look like he necessarily is going to go be in a like modeling underwear in Calvin Klein.
Yeah.
Right. He looks more like your average dude I don't know. I feel like it makes it more relatable almost. Like it just makes it.
And you say that I also like that Superman's getting his butt kicked through a lot of this movie or through the trailer.
Through the trailer. Like most of what we've seen so far is him getting his ass handed to him. So it's going to be interesting.
I think a lot of things that turn people away from Superman is he's just so powerful that it's hard to bring him down, right?
One of my biggest fucking issues with him is the fact that the only goddamn weakness he has really is kryptonite.
Yeah. And
it's just like, okay.
But it looks
so you have every power known to man pretty much, and the only thing that you're allergic to is a rock. It's just that's always been my qualm with Superman, and none of the other really live action versions versions in general of Superman have really ever like won me over.
Yeah.
So far, this trailer, I'm here for it. So I'm gonna give it its due respect, and I will definitely be watching this. And I'm gonna go in with a blank slate and an open mind.
Perfect.
Brings us to our special segment of the week. This week we have our small screen sampler of the month, where we take at least the first episode of a show that we have covered before. Or I guess not necessarily covered, just a newer show that's kind of up and coming or big right now or whatever it is. This one just happens to be one that we have covered. Yeah. And we decided to do the 4 seasons.
Yes, we did.
On Netflix. The synopsis again is 3 suburban couples vacation together each season, but tensions arise when one couple splits up and the husband brings a much younger woman on subsequent trips. Again, this is on Netflix. The primary cast of this is Steve Carell, Will Forte, and Tina Fey. Yeah. First off, how far did you watch through this?
I got through the full season.
Oh, you got through the full season.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't get that far, but I finished 3 of the 8 episodes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And so far where I'm at, it's fucking great.
It's not what I expected.
It's not what I expected either, but I think I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what I like about it.
It's definitely not what I expected. It's a very real topic around the world that they cover in the show, and I didn't hate it. I'm not like in love with it, but I liked it enough, obviously, to watch the whole season. It almost reminds me of a show or movie when you were younger, where you're watching it with your mom or dad and going, "Oh, this is a old person's movie," or like an older person, like, why am I watching this kind of thing?
Gotcha.
That's kind of the vibes I got, and maybe I just can't relate too much to it because it's married on the verge of divorce kind of thing going on in the
I mean, they're all like in that midlife crisis age frame, right? And where like there's a lot of contemplations between couples and tensions and all sorts of stresses and long-standing things that they're trying to work through.
But at the same time, it hits the funny parts, it hits the emotional parts, and again, it kept me invested. I watched through it all, and so I lean more towards liking it. I saw that it got renewed for a season 2. So,
perfect, cool.
So there is going to be more to it, and so I enjoyed it enough. I don't know. I think more. It just wasn't what I was expecting. Yeah, but enjoyed it.
See, and I like, and again, I'm only 3 episodes in, so I don't know if maybe there's something throughout the rest of it that could pull me back a little bit from it, but I really have enjoyed what I've watched so far. I think the characters are, while they're completely unrelatable because of just what the age and what they're going through and stuff for us is, I also feel like it's relatable to a point because it's just like real life. Yeah. Right? Like it's just real life. That's all it is. And like, I mean, like, I know yours are too. Mine are, like, parents are divorced. And so it just kind of like gives you, I don't know, it just kind of, you go into some of that. And I'm really enjoying the kind of nuances of all the different characters and just kind of getting to learn about all of them a little more and the different relationships and just everything. So
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it so far. I think it's awesome, and I can't wait to keep watching it to finish out the season.
I'm excited
so.
for you to finish off because it was good. It was good. I'm not saying it wasn't.
Yeah.
It just wasn't what I thought, and
Yeah.
it did give me those vibes of it feels like an older person.
Did you
show.
think it was going to be more of like a hilarity, like ha funny show?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say that, but
Yeah.
again, it hits the right spots. I do like seeing the situations. It just kind of makes you think about current life and just going, life goes by quick. Don't take it for granted.
Yeah.
You gotta work at it. So
For sure.
yeah.
All right.
That brings us to the Blockbusters question of the week, and I wanted to follow suit with you. I don't think this one's as difficult as what you posed, but in similar fashion, we are going to pick from a grid of pictures and eliminate one movie out of each row. This one is 4 movies per row versus the 3 that you did. So we're going to list off the movies. You're going to tell me why you're getting rid of, which one you're getting rid of, and why you're getting rid of it. So, first row, The Dark Knight, The Batman, Avengers Infinity War, and Spider-Man 2. Which one are you getting rid of?
Spider-Man 2.
What?
I knew you were going to hate this. Yeah. It doesn't hold a candle to the other 3 for me. Batman's my favorite superhero of all time.
Yeah.
And just like I know Spider-Man's yours.
Yeah.
Right. But Batman's my favorite character of all time. The Dark Knight is, I think it's the best superhero movie ever. I mean, it's the best rendition of Batman in Christian Bale's Batman. And you have the best character, not just superheroes, but I think character ever in the history of cinema in Heath Ledger's The Joker.
Yeah.
Right. So that's that. I absolutely loved Robert Pattinson's The Batman. I cannot wait for the second one. Just everything, the way it was shot, everything, like I thought it was fantastic. And Infinity War.
You can't eliminate that.
It's Infinity War, right? Which left me, and I know, Spider-Man 2's got to go. Sorry.
Damn.
That's my reasoning. It's not necessarily anything about Spider-Man 2 itself. It's just stacked up to the other 3 for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't even come close. So
Yeah. All right. Well,
I know you're not picking Spider-Man 2. So and I know you're not picking Infinity War. I'm assuming you're going with Robert Pattinson's The Batman.
this
Because if you get rid of The Dark Knight, I'm kicking your dick off right now.
this was the hardest row. Like, just they're all bangers.
Yeah.
They're absolute bangers.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I would get rid of Robert Pattinson's only because how the other 3 just felt top level. Not saying the Batman did not. It did. It was a great movie, and it brought the Penguin, which was a phenomenal show.
Yes,
one of
absolutely.
my favorites. It opens up that, and I'm very excited for it. But to me, just Spider-Man 2 just holds a special place in my heart. It was.
If it was Spider-Man, I might have a different answer. If it was the first one as the option here, I might have leaned more towards.
But I almost ranked Spider-Man
Pattinson's
2
The
above
Batman.
Spider-Man 1.
That's tough. That's tough. I don't know. I don't know about that. That's a tough
they're
one.
very close for me.
The first Spider-Man is one of the first superhero movies outside of like the Michael Keaton Batmans.
Yeah.
Right. That I remember watching and that I remember being like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, that's where I'm like, if it was the first one there, it would have been Robert Pattinson's The Batman, I think, for me. But because it was Spider-Man 2, and again, I'm not saying there's anything necessarily specifically wrong with that movie. It's just the way it held up to me for the other 3.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Row number 2. The Avengers Endgame. We got Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is not the Josh Whedon Justice League. We got Logan and Captain America Civil War. Which one you getting rid of?
Justice League. I think I think The Dark Knight is like the best superhero movie ever. I think you arguably have number 2 and number 3 in this row with Endgame and Logan. Right? Like those are both in their own right fucking masterpieces. And then Civil War
was an Avengers movie to me.
It's an Avengers movie, right? But Civil War is it's realistically, I mean, you could argue the first 2 Avengers, but I feel like this one is really the one that set the stage for the rest of the Infinity.
Yeah.
Fucking, we're in the goddamn multiverse saga right now, right?
Yeah.
So the Infinity Saga, right? And so it's and again, whether it's Joss Whedon or Zack Snyder, and obviously the Zack Snyder cut was fucking 1,000 times better, but it's still just DC doesn't hold a candle to Marvel.
Yeah.
Never has outside of the Batman stuff. But really the only Batman that necessarily holds a candle to the MCU is Christian Bale's trilogy to me in my heart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's Justice League.
I got rid of Justice League too. More so just because it was, at this point, we knew this DC universe was over when it got to that point.
Yeah,
but
for
then,
sure.
To your point, you got Endgame, Logan in there, and just Civil War was just epic as well. You got so much going on in that. So, Justice League, I'm sorry, you got to go.
Yep.
Which brings us to our last row. We got Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. We got Spider-Man number 1. We got Batman Begins and Man of Steel. Which one are you getting rid of?
Man of Steel.
It's
Man of Steel.
Okay, why?
Again, Superman's never really been my favorite character. I don't think the darkness of what Zack Snyder was trying to do with this came across that well. I think leaning further into things with it, just the continuance of it being the next one was then Batman versus Superman, and that just also didn't hit very well. I don't know. I mean, you have Into the Spider-Verse movies are fucking phenomenal. If I'm not mistaken, that one got nominated for, if not won, an Oscar.
I think, it won one of the best picture.
Animated or something like that.
Yeah.
You have Spider-Man number 1, which is, I already alluded to this.
Yeah. That
one is a special one to me. And then, again, Christian Bale's Batman is, like, top-notch for me.
Yeah.
So that it's hard for me to pick anything else. It's Superman. If I got to get rid of something, Superman. It's like the Hulk Hogan of superheroes. So, yeah, I'm going Man of Steel. Which one? Because we're obviously not on the same page here.
You
So
might be surprised. I'm getting rid of Into the Spider-Verse, and it's just because, I don't know, I like the live action a little more. I do enjoy the Spider-Verse movies. They are really good. But Spider-Man 1, obviously, just love them. I've watched it thousands of times, honestly. It's been a lot.
Yeah.
Batman Begins, again, just to your point, Christian Bale, Christopher Nolan did phenomenal work with these 3 movies. And then Man of Steel, to me, just, it was exciting to see a possibility of a DC side of MCU. It had that building bricks, and I think Henry Cavill did a great job as Superman. It was a different twist on it, and it was exciting to see that, and I was hoping for the best for it. It just didn't turn out that way, but
and I think that's part of what brings it down for me is just like,
we know how it plays out.
Exactly.
You know,
like you have
maybe at the time when these came out.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you could go back and only experience when you first saw these, all of our answers might be different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
To a point, right? But knowing how everything turned out and what could have been and what didn't happen and kind of the failures of it, that's why for me it's Man of Steel. And again, just my history with the Superman character, it's just
no, that makes sense.
Not my favorite, so.
All right, man.
Fuck yeah, man. Episode 50. We rocked the 1 year anniversary. with the Maker's Mark French Oaked one more time.
Cheers.
Probably be the only bourbon that we double up on, honestly.